Linnaeus introduced the idea of terra nullius, or empty land, an idea that natural environments are barren and unproductive. It's what the Western world believed for centuries. Linnaeus believed that there were two migrations. The first one happened when all creatures from the Garden of Eden ventured into an empty, virgin world. There, they settled into permanent habitats where they remained for thousands of years, waiting to be discovered. The second migration was the one we knew all too well. This is when humans migrated away from their homes and spread across the globe, mixing with all forms of life and forever changing them through the process. This belief became a human reality. In fact, for thousands of years, people believed that migration was not natural. They never strayed far from their birthplace and were content to stay there year-round. Linnaeus decided to believe in two different human beings to reconcile the conflicting viewpoints. Africans were considered more similar to apes and closer to monkeys than Europeans. He described them as rudimentary and monstrous births. On the flip side, Europeans were the pinnacle of human evolution, the most excellent variety of the human species. With Linnaeus's theory in play, the European people believed that God had created two separate and distinct races, blacks and whites. We now know racism resulted from how these people interpreted the Bible. They believed that because blacks and whites were created differently, they would ultimately end up in different places. Blacks would live in Africa, while whites would live in Europe. This meant that one race was superior to the other. The truth is that there was never supposed to be more than one human subspecies, and Carl Linnaeus was wrong in every way. The Statue of Liberty was a gift from the people of France to show appreciation for the friendship between the two countries. The statue itself symbolizes immigrants coming to America and aims to welcome those displaced because of war or other severe hardship. The Statue of Liberty welcomes immigrants as it captures the spirit and promise of America. One of its most memorable phrases is, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free." The term was first coined by the anthropologist Israel Friedlander in 1912. Still, it wasn't until the 1920s that it became popularized by two prominent aristocrats from New York City. The conservationist, Madison Grant, and the philanthropist Henry Fairfield Osborn resented how waves of immigration had transformed New York City and eroded their cultural dominance in society. Eugenicists widely spread this information. The goal of widely accepted eugenics programs, the belief that desirable human characteristics could be inherited, took flight in the late 19th century and peaked in the early 20th. Eugenicists believed that traits like intelligence and moral fortitude were inherited, and genes from other, inferior races would water down these positive qualities. The early 20th century was a time when science was proliferating. One popular theory emerged from this period: introducing new species into an ecosystem disrupted the natural environment. This was widely acknowledged after 1932 when Russian biologist Georgy Francevich Gauss conducted an experiment that found that two species would compete for resources until only one remained. The worry of foreign species widely spread across Europe. In Germany, the Nazis aimed to protect the purity of the German race extended to its gardens. In 1933, the Ministry of Popular Enlightenment and Propaganda declared that annuals such as petunias and marigolds were by nature foreign to our climate, and therefore harmful to plant development. Invasive species are the second most significant threat to the wildlife in the United States after habitat destruction. It's an issue that's not going away anytime soon. In fact, it's only getting worse.